Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill, and I am showing you an empty screen. We're going to do some live code here. And what I'm working on tonight is a continuation of what I was working on a little bit ago. Let's see, I don't know. There we go. This is actually the one I want over here. Okay, so what I'm working on tonight, let me give you a little background. So I had a child, a son. Unto us a son is born. And so I abruptly left work last week, and I didn't finish what I was intending to finish, which was the email template stuff. So I'm going to finish that now. And essentially, I did the tedious work of converting each template over, and I found the commonalities between the variables that were being used between the different templates. And so now I'm going to bring those. I'm going to take my updated work and I'm going to backport it to the current system so that then I can, report it and everything will go well. But I'm backporting. I'm backporting some changes. That's what I'm doing. So I think we're in the right place here. And yeah, so these are everything under libmailer is all the new stuff. And everything under util email, I think, is the old stuff. And then, let's see, updated email. These were all of this stuff that's untracked. Was just things I was diffing, I was keeping track of to figure out what I had changed and what I hadn't changed, etc. So we're gonna start from there, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna have our good friend the Mountain Dew tonight or not. I'm still on the fence about that one, but because I was staying up too late the other night researching something, and I woke up with a slightly sore throat, so then I slept a lot the next day, and it's not good to have caffeine when you've got a lack of sleep, or so they tell me. Anyway. Oh, and hello. Thanks for joining in. I'm AJ. Who are you? I gotta remember where I was first of all. I guess I could just do a git diff here and kind of get a feel for that. So all this stuff that's in libmailer, this is just going to be okay. Yep. So I was just rescoping variables. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm at a place where I can probably just whip commit what's done. And let's see, what branch am I on right now? I should be on the AJ branch. Good. All right, so I'm just going to whip commit what's done. And I think this one right here, I might actually want to keep that as is. Well, I'll just check it out again is what I'll do. Because I'm going to want to use this. All right, so we're going to do commit whip rescope email vars. Okay. And then whoa. Oh, whoops. And I want to get rid of these. Let's see. Get rm-rf vars, and then we'll commit that as a fixup, remove cruft. And then I'm just going to rebase that real quick to squash. So let's just fold that into the prior. Okay, cool. So what we want to do, probably before I change too many of these things, let me actually look at that rebase again. So we updated the password reset logic as well on this. Yeah, it looks like I could go back a little further to kind of get a better picture here. Okay, update layout, introduce partials, yada, yada, yada. And I think I've moved all of this stuff into... there is a code repository that I will link you to. I think I put this one on my personal, on the Cool Age 86. I think it's called ETA demo, and I'm pretty sure I've updated it with all of what I've been doing here in terms of just a little simple project. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the stream, so that should appear in the chat momentarily. Node ETA demo. So this has got some of the goodies in it. And let's see. From here, I'm going to check out master. I'm going to see, oh, whoops, that should have been a rebase. Hopefully, let's see what happened there. Fast forward. Okay, good. So it looks like it rebased just fine. And what have we got here? Doesn't look like anything related to the emails has changed upstream, so that's good. And then maybe I shouldn't have deleted those. Well, I've got them in the Git repository. When I say those, I mean the diffs. But I have the important diffs in the repository, so let me bring that up actually. I'm going to bring up, there's an issue here, email template variables from 10 days ago. Okay, so these are all the common variables that I had found, and I started moving them around. So in particular, they're the variables that now go under apps. So I'm going to do checkout. Well, first let's do a new checkout. And this is going to be email vars is what I'm going to call this branch. I'm going to push up. And then I'm going to check out AJ messages.json. Oh, and maybe it's message.json. I think that's it. Yep. Okay, cool. So I've got that now. And I might want to see what else we have. So this one is the big thing, setting all the app. And I know this stutters a bit because we've got variables, app, company logo, company short name, company legal, company. Seems like that ought to just be under app. And maybe it should. But the reason that I have it labeled this way is the app itself belongs to a company, but there are also other companies. Each customer has a company, and they may interact with companies that are partner companies. So there's lots of company stuff. And so that's why I'm okay with it stuttering, because it's the app's company as opposed to another company, and I don't feel that just calling it app link, app name is sufficient. Oh gosh, that tastes excellent today. I mean, I know every can's the same, but sometimes it just tastes better than other days. Anyway. So what I will do, here's what I'm going to do. First, let me just reset this. And I'm going to check out my AJ branch, and I'm going to do a git stash pop because I don't know what I was doing on the day that I left. So I just want to check and see what it looks like. What was going on here? Render template email. Render. Util. Yeah. I kind of get that. I forget. Is there a git? Was it a git stash list? Okay. Let's see. And a lot of this stuff probably needs to be cleared. Now the question, I think the one that I just popped has conflicts, and it was A43 and A7E. Well, this is 666. It's the devil's commit. Yeah, I think I should clear out this stash. But I do want to know, what was this? Typically when there's a conflict, it lets you know that it's keeping the old version just in case you need it again. So I think this would be the more appropriate bit to keep. Let's see, if we did this, would these be exactly the same? I think that, oh, not quite. So that one is better, message.template, message.variables. Ah, no, this one is better. This one is more correct. And this one that just says template. Okay, so that's more correct. So that's what we'll keep. And to do, update this to use the whatever we decide is best renderer, because there's two renderers here. And I think I had this one set up more for testing, and I think when we go to deploy, we're going to end up using this one and taking the good bits from this one and copying over this one. That's a lot of this one's, but I think that's about what it was. So whip update render func in utils send email. Alrighty. Alright, so it looks like we got a few people on email and Twitch, or not email, YouTube. So hello to you. Thanks for joining in. Please feel free to tell me who you are, where you're from, what you're up to tonight. Kind of having more of a low energy night, but so it is. Okay, do I want to push that up? I think I will. Won't hurt. And then let's go to email vars here. Well, actually, I do want to get a diff of, oh, that doesn't feel right. What? Uh-oh, what branch am I on? Huh. Okay. That might be why that didn't make sense. I was on the wrong branch, but it doesn't matter. This was right? Yeah, so this one was already right. So if I did a get stash pop here. Wait, am I on the right branch now? No. Huh. Reset. There we go. I was on the wrong branch. So get stash pop, and this should do nothing. Huh. Did even more. Okay. What's the difference between these two? Let us see. What branch am I on? Why is it not changing branches? Okay, get checkout utils. Get reset. Get checkout utils. Get status. Get checkout AJ. Okay, there we go. Now we can do our get stash pop. And now we should see that it does basically nothing. Yeah, so all that's different is that it's got the wrong thing too. There we go. I'm just going to let that one stay there. Okay, and what if I pop again? All right. How do I clear one item from my git stash, the most recent item from the git stash? Let's see. Okay, clear most recent item from git stash. Let's see. Okay, git stash drop. So let's do git stash list. And then, that doesn't seem to make sense. Needs merge. Unable to refresh index. Get reset. Get checkout. Get stash pop. It's doing the same thing over and over again. I don't get it. Get stash list. My guess is that, I don't know. Let's try this. Get reset dot get checkout dot get cherry pick, and let's give it this one. Huh. Oh, okay, cool. So it looks like I somehow had stashed this and then popped it, and then who knows what. But it looks like it's the same thing, yeah? Okay, I'm just going to do this. Get reset dot get checkout dot and then get stash clear. Boom. So now if I do get stash pop, nothing found. Great. Okay, so now let me look at the log, and I want to go back to the update password reset and just do a diff between these two. And it looks like, yeah, okay. This is actually a good one that I should pull across. That one is an important file. Yeah. Okay, and I probably need to pull across the env that's related to this. Well, I guess if I don't have the example env updated, which I probably don't, I'll need to pull that across. And to look in that env file, I'm going to have to pull this onto the other screen because there's probably some secrets in there that I can't show. Because there's a couple of places where the dev and the staging aren't separated enough. Oh, sweet nectar of life. Okay, so this looks good. Yeah, there's actually a number of these. I should probably pull over source API util email, just wholesale. Okay, mail, and these ones I don't need to pull over. Okay, those ones can stay, they're all good. And then what was this? API util templates. That was just a link, I think. Okay, cool. So I think I know what I need to pull over here. So I think I just need to do get checkout email vars. Whoops. And then I need to do a get checkout of this path and of message.json. And this one, I'm just going to drop that. Maybe, whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll just leave it there. It's all good for whip. Okay, and then what else am I going to pull over? Oh, I'm going to pull this over to the other screen real quick, and then I'm going to look in the .env, and I'm just going to grab, yeah, it's got some dev tokens to actual services in here. So I would like to pull out the config stuff that has secrets separate from the config stuff that doesn't have secrets. Not sure how to go about that yet. All right, I'm going to put this in the example.env. Okay. And this is all postmark email config. Let me get rid of a couple of things here so I can bring it on over and show you what I'm working with. Whoops. Just another second here as I go through sanitizing a couple of keys so I can have them in the example env. Okay, this looks safe. Okay, I'll pull this back over now, I think. Let me make sure there's nothing else on the screen from my previous looking at the file. There we go. Okay, cool. So, and I am taking a look over here. When I'm looking over here, I'm looking for comments. Feel free to comment in. I see a few more people have joined in. Thanks. Nice to have you. Feel free to ask me questions or say hello. Tell me where you're from, what your interests are, what you're up to tonight. Anyway, with this, what I'm doing is I'm putting a lot of the variables in the .env, and there's a couple of good reasons for this. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I don't like to put anything that is proprietary in the repository if I can help it. I don't even like to put the name of the project in the repository if I can help it. Now, sometimes, depending on what the project is, that could be a little bit extreme, but companies rebrand. You put up a test site, you want it to have maybe a test brand or to have test in front of it in lots of places rather than to have the actual name. You might decide to white label something. And so I just like to have, and you might want to stream what you're working on. If you don't have anything proprietary, you don't have anything to worry about. So I do like to try to get rid of those things as much as possible. And so this email app company, I don't know if email is necessarily what needs to go in front of that, but I'm putting it there now because I'm only using these for email. And so it's specific to how it's used in email, but some of this is pretty generic. For example, email app company logo. This might be specific to the email templates themselves, but email or the app company short name, that's probably not too specific. The legal name, oh, oops, mixing and matching here. State, yada, yada, yada. This other stuff, if we got rid of the email prefix, it'd probably still be right. And this little lightning thing, let me go ahead and get rid of this. I think I just do shell check. I actually have this, well, what is it? Shell check, ignore rule, enumerated shell check codes. Here we go. And what we need here is something about export. Oops. Verify it or export it. There we go. This one right here. I think I just say, is it shell check equals? Yeah, there we go. Is that it? No. Let me go to webinstall.dev/shell check where I've got my cheat sheet. Disable equals. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. Disable equals. There we go. And that was, it doesn't like, yeah. This, I understand what it's talking about. It thinks this is an expression because it has a $sign in it. Actually, that's a valid email character. Whatever. No, it's not that. It's that we use that actually. In the code, we do a find replace on that. So it looks like an error, but it's not. Okay, so what I need to do now is I got to go through and update the original emails to use the new names. I'm going to start with this short list here. Am I going to start with this short list here? Maybe I'm not. Let me start by looking at the headers. I think it was source, API, util, email. I think it's template, header. Templates, partials, header. Uh-oh, my daughter's upset. She's crying upstairs. Probably mommy put her to bed finally. I mean, we've been trying to put her to bed, but it's not been taking. And so we're just kind of letting her do her thing. Okay. What is all this nonsense? Do we even have anything in here? HTML title. App.company logo. Wait, that's not right. Hold on a second. Oh, it is right. Okay. I was saying that's not right because this should not be in what's in master because the rest of the changes haven't been made, but I just did a checkout, so I must have updated a few of these. HTML title. Okay, I think I know what that's about. I'm going to take a look real quick. HTML title. Yeah. Well, that kind of stinks in the sense that HTML title is more specific and title is more generic. So to figure out where title comes from, well, I guess I could just search title in source API util email. Okay, that comes from here. And is this something that needs to be different between each of them? Yeah, I think it's in the email defaults. Is that where it comes from? Yeah, that's where it comes from. Okay, so that's okay. I kind of think, well, I don't want to make a bunch of changes to this because we're just going to replace it anyway. I just want to get it up to snuff so that we know that the changes to the current process will work, and then we can move forward after that. So see, here's where I'm using all of the Envs. I'm just bringing them over. Okay. Let's see, account. Oh, okay, I got it. I'm just going to do this. That shouldn't break anything. It makes me feel better. Because I don't know if account is guaranteed to exist. Bum, 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 bum. TMPL defaults. All right, let me look for $sign. I want to look for the start of a template. We're going to go from the top of the file and just work our way down. I'm just going to refresh. Okay, code, got it. Okay, but we got to figure out where code comes from. So I'm going to actually make some written notes to myself of things that I need to figure out. Because code is probably one of those things that I need to figure out where it came from and make sure that the old code path and new code, because we're also making that, I don't want to have to make these changes yet in this commit. I'm just trying to backport. I figured out what I'm going to do moving forward for the future, and I'm trying to backport just changing variable names in the code and in the existing templates. Then when I go forward to update the templates to the new templates, everything should go smooth. But I want to do this first. So code is one that comes from somewhere, and I want to find out where it comes from and make sure, because the email change code, the password reset, adding an email, all of these things, the place where they were getting their variable from is going to be a different place now. And so I want to update this to make sure that things are consistent. That code is probably fine. Probably need to add a duration in wherever that code is being used. Account makes total sense. Template, I'm not so sure about. I think template needs a different name. Or it needs a different scope, because template just sounds too generic. I believe that it is a template for a document or a task. Let's see. Okay, so first I'm just looking through here, and then we've got documents. Yep, that's one that I really want to make sure that these different categories of variable have a scope befitting of their category, I guess. Anyway, get back to this. These are all a bunch of process. This is TMPL defaults, code, account, template, TMPL defaults, TMPL default, template defaults, template defaults, template defaults, template defaults. Okay, documents. All right, we're back to the top. Okay, so that's good. All right, so where's the next step that I need to take? Let me go back and look at my list here. Yeah. Because some of these things don't have any scope at all to them. For example, temp password. It seems that perhaps we should scope the variables to an object that describes the types of templates that they'll be used in. So temp password is going to go away. That won't exist anymore once we finish the password reset stuff when we get that all pushed through, which I do want to get that pushed through relatively soon. But yeah, I think these things ought to get scoped under something that makes a little bit more sense for what they do. For example, name, link, label, ID, host, folder. None of this has scope to help identify it. This one is particularly bad scope. Object. That's not clear at all. 2, I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Is it supposed to be the to address? I don't think it is. I think it's probably a person's name. Value obviously doesn't make a lot of sense. I know what the value actually, type and value go together. This should be identifier.type, identifier.value. That's how that should come across. But then I have to make sure the code gets updated. Let's see what the header, what's the diff in the header? Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Undo. There we go. Oh, that's nothing. That's just white space. Okay, well, let me change the one that's object dot. Let me see if I can figure out where that comes from. Try that again. Okay. Util email. Okay, this must come from Stripe then. So what do we have in our source API util email? I think it's index. Nope. Must be email. We have our send template email, I think is what's going to be the golden one here. Okay, how many of these do we have? Far too many. Let me just work through them one at a time. Should probably make a list of them to work through. All right. So what I need to do here is be more clear. There's a number of templates where we have name at the top level, and I would like to scope that to say it's the user's name. This, I would like to scope it all in, let's say, auth-in. Or I could call it maybe challenge. That might be appropriate. Okay, we are going to keep, are we going to keep template? Yeah, template's going to stay in here. And we could go with identifier, type and value. And that would make sense. And then ID and code. To do deprecate secret, because it should just be called code. Oh, What did it hate about what I did? I don't know. Oh, missing a comma there. All right. So maybe I could call this something else. Auth challenge. That's essentially what this is. Or we could call it verification. Verification ID code template. Can actually just put that up top. Identifier URL. All that mostly makes sense. I think I could get behind that. And then this is, let's see, value is the 2, I think. Send template email. The template, the vars. I think I am going to just put this in here like so. Okay. Well, and if it's going out in email, then we kind of know that the value is email. But it's going to be email. Maybe I should just not have the type here. Because at this point, we know that it's going to be email. So maybe we'll just put email there. And then the value. Because we're going to do this for text messages eventually too. It's going to be the same logic for a text message. Okay. So let me go find the emails. Making a little hand note. Okay, because I'm going to need to update that template elsewhere as well. Okay, but the only template this one actually does right now is the verification email. We will be using it for email change code and reset password, but presently we are not. But I do want to update those as well. So I want to get everything updated. Okay, verification email, verification email, verification email, verification email. Okay, generate confirmation email. That's done. That's dead code now. So where do I need to worry about this? In the defaults? Probably not. Verification email. Yep, that's fine. So I'm looking for this under probably email templates and then verification email. Yeah. All right, do we have a name in here? No, we don't. We do have user first name. That's fine. Okay, click the link to verify your email address. So, host. I think that this should be instead app dot base URL or some such. Let's see. Company URL. Do we have app URL? Support address. Let me go take a look at the example env. Let's see, how about, because there's the company URL, but that's not necessarily the same as the app URL itself. So the app URL can happen to be the same as the company URL, but it doesn't have to be, and in fact it isn't in different environments. So I'm going to double check the use of app company URL real quick. And I don't even think, I'm going to call it app base URL, which I think we had application URL is maybe what we should continue to use. Let me see here. Application URL .env. Okay. Yeah, so I think we could continue to use application URL for now, rather than introduce another new one. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of this base URL thing, and I'm going to go into the defaults, and I'm going to say, well, I will call it base URL here. Base URL process.env application URL. There we are. So app.base URL is what that will be. Like that a lot better. And there's probably several places that that will need to get changed. I could probably do most of them in an automated fashion. Let me go ahead and check on that. So what if we just go into email and we look up host? Yeah, and it is application URL. All right, so let me do this. Call this host1.txt. Actually, I'm going to sort this. And then I'm going to look for equals host. I'm going to call this number 2 and sort it. And then we're going to go for equals space host. And we're going to call that number 3. And if we take host 1, which is going to have host, whoops, it's going to have equals host, whoops, equals host at the bottom. So it looks like there's just one instance. Yeah, okay. So let me just go change that one file. And then I should be able to make this change really quick. So now I can use SD. Sure, we'll go ahead and use string mode, and we'll change equals space host into equals app.base URL. And we'll do that for source API util email templates star.star. And then we'll also do it for partials. Let me bring this back up. And then let's look and see what we get when we look for this again. So there's that one, and then this one, and then this one. So let's take a look. All right, so this is actually quite small now. So we could just remove that reference to host. And that'll be good enough. And then I wonder if I should change test env. That seems that should go at the top level, but that's just part of the defaults now, I'm pretty sure. So since the defaults are being applied, that shouldn't make a difference. Let me go ahead and add that back just because I don't want to do this yet. Oh, that's not going to work. This is going to have a valid from. Where'd that from go to anyway? Mail object. I think we need to be really careful about picking our from addresses. I don't think we should be able to arbitrarily set them. So that's one I need to look at. Okay. Was it there? Take a look at this. Okay. So that looks good. All right. So I'd be really deliberate about the changes that I make. Let's see if I can identify. All right, so we add a base URL. I'll make these changes as small as I can. So I think all I'm making in this one is just the host to base URL change. And white space change. Okay, that one's a white space change. Also, don't like doing stuff like this, where I just don't think you should have JavaScript in templates. I think templates should be logicless. You should format your data correctly before you do your template, and then your template should just be doing variables and loops. But no conversion, no concatenation. I don't like that kind of thing. Especially not concatenation, because that's what the template's already doing. All right. Yeah, then that's getting updated. Okay, so I don't really need to change anything there. What I do want to do, where's that one file that was just a white space change and it was nothing else? I'd like to commit that separately. Where did it go? Let's see if I can remember the name of it. Was it this one? It was this one. This partial's here. So what we've got currently, yeah. Here's what I'm going to do with that. Oh, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can. I know exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to stash these changes. Then I'm going to open up that same file again. Oh, that's quite a few changes there. Dang it. Whatever. Okay, smallest possible change. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to do tmpl defaults equals, and then I'm going to have app and base URL. So I'm going to throw that in here. Then I'm going to stash it. I'm going to go back to my branch that I was working on. I'm going to go in this file and I'm going to copy this stuff over. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and copy the whole file, really. So I guess email bars. I guess what I really could do, let me just go back here. Whoops. Git stash pop. I'm going to copy that line and I'm going to git checkout from my other branch this file. And then I'm just going to add in base URL. Okay. So none of this other stuff matters because it doesn't exist yet. Dang it, but this means I do need to update the other file as well. Gosh. Okay, fine. Let me see. Git checkout. Okay. So we get rid of mailgun domain. And then we're going to use these other domains or these other variables instead, right? So from the start, there's not actually too much change here. I wonder if I can get one file from a stash. I bet I can. Alright, so this is pretty simple. I guess this could be just a first change is we're updating the defaults file. Oh, source lib mailer. Are we making that change already? I don't think we are yet. I suppose we could. Oh, it's just hard to walk through these things. You know, it's easy to go through and make 100 changes to a file. It's hard to then say, okay, now that I know where all this needs to go, how do I layer this properly so that it can merge smoothly into the master main branch with as few casualties as possible, and that it's clear for someone else to look at and kind of understand what the process was. Okay, well, let's do this. Do we have anything relying on libmailer.js? Just one. Does libmailer.js exist? Yes, it does. But we're going to make source libmailer. And we're going to move source libmailer.js into source libmailer index.js. And then we're going to update send email. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to do this again. All right. Source API util email email.js mailer. All right, small, tiny change, not too much affected there. Easy to put forth. Okay, so feel really good about that. Really simple, really small. just renaming a file and a couple of imports. Cool. So rename libmailer.js, libmailer.index.js. Okay, cool. Let's do git stash pop, and hopefully that shouldn't have anything crazy in it. Alrighty. And really, this should just move the logo, although it could probably move a couple of other things, and that would be fine for this small commit. So first, let me do a stash list. And I think what I want to do here is, whoops, let me grab that. I'm going to do git checkout from this, and specifically I wanted the examples example.env out of there. That did not work. Let's see. Indeed, that did not work. Git stash list. Git stash list. Interesting. Git stash pop. Okay. So the thing that I wanted, which I'm going to go redo on the other screen, is I'm going to grab out of the .env a couple of bits. I'm just updating the env over here. Oops. I need to get that list of codes again. $20.34. I should have this one memorized. Kind of wish they had names though. Makes it a little easier. Okay. And then from this, I copy over all of these. Okay. I'll bring this back over now. So I am going to have to go where we store the envs and then update, add another 20 envs here. Well, not really that many. It's 10 maybe? It's quite a few, but it's manageable. And I actually have a little script for adding envs in bulk. In fact, I may have already added all of those ones. Oh, bless me. I'll have to go check. All right. Yeah, so this is right. And then the thing that we can remove from here that makes sense to go in this commit is test env and host. Well, test env, yes, this makes sense to remove right now because test env stays at the same level that it was before. So we assign temple defaults and then the specific templating from here, and the test env is going to be as part of the default. So let me go double check that. And I am checking occasionally over here for comments, so feel free to drop me a line, say hello. I do appreciate it. Of course, the danger is if you say hello, it follows the scenario of if you give a mouse a cookie, because then I'm going to ask you another question. So I can understand if you want to stay focused on what you're doing and not have me rope you in. Every every sip is still the sweetest nectar ever. Yeah, test env is right here up at the top. Okay, and is this our from or is this our reply to? Because really, I think it should be our reply to address. I'd say it should be, well, right now, it's fine for it to continue to be the support address. No. Postmark stream account from. Maybe we should just keep it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter what we put there in essence, because I think if we just leave it blank, it gets overwritten by the default stream from address. So if we do just put the correct stream, should get a default address. And so I guess this is fine to continue using for now. We will need to change it. So I'm just going to put a to-do change to postmark stream address. And that makes sense. App company support And that would be support name, wouldn't it? Company support address. Support name. Oops. Okay. I don't know, should we put a from there? I'm just going to go ahead and put this. That makes sense. All right, this is good for now. Okay, so we can get rid of test-env. We can get rid of from. I do want to track down where are the places that we have a from address specified. Well, so it could be render template email. Where else can we have a from? Send email by body. Let's just look at it this way. This should be a little bit quicker. By the way, some people have asked me what tools I use. Almost everything that I use is webinstall.dev. So if you go to webinstall.dev, you'll see RG, SD, FD, FCF, all of that stuff is there. So all of these have froms, but I don't think we use them. I hope we don't use them. Yeah, notifications from, there we go. Okay, so I could just drop that and ignore it. That one's safe to ignore anyway. But I guess we really just want to replace from with stream, but the stream should be defined by the template that we're using. But if we do send email by body, we're not actually using a template, huh? Is that how this works? Let me take a look. Send email by body. Da, 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 Body, there we go. Yeah. So here's part of the trouble then. This is only in a few places, so that won't be a big deal. But this is building up the body without using a template, which I don't think we should do. I get why you do that when you're starting out, but now that we have these processes in place, and I get that we want an override to be able to say, well, the email to address, that makes total sense. We want to override to go to a developer rather than a customer or the junk email that we're putting in place. But building up functions like this, I think we should just be putting this in templates. That's okay. So this one is one that we need to look at. Noted. Because that one doesn't go through the normal system. Okay, what about send email with attachments? This one also looks like it's custom. Ugh. And this looks like it's used in a lot of places. So these reports probably should come from notifications rather than account. So I think it's safe to say that the default from address, if one is not given, should probably be the notification address. Let me think about this for a second. Yeah, because those don't go through the templating process. So I would need to make sure that the things still apply. Okay. Yeah, I don't want this stuff. I don't want all this logic around the template. Plus, another problem with this is that it makes it very difficult to guarantee that the HTML is safe. So, yeah. If you use a template system, you have a higher chance that things are escaped properly. So ETA, or ETA, I suppose it's pronounced, it says in the documentation that you shouldn't trust its sanitization because it hasn't been reviewed by a third party. But I went in and I looked at its sanitization, and as far as I can tell, it escapes all 4 properties that can be sanitized, or entity types. So it's the greater than less than pairing, the escaping of quotes, double quotes and single quotes, that pairing. There's I think escaping the escape characters, the ampersand. I think there's one other thing that it does. But HTML has a very limited set of ways that you can accidentally allow things through. So if you replace there's a very small set of characters with the escape sequences, you're solid. But with this, none of that's happening by default. And what if a person puts in their first name as a less than script tag? You know? Probably won't execute. Maybe in Outlook. Probably won't really cause too much of a difference, but there are situations where it could. And so I'd like to figure out how we can get out of there. Okay, so send with attachments. I got it. And again, send box file. Let's try this one. Interesting. So I wonder what... Oh, okay. So that's the file it's going to send as an attachment. So even here, I think that we ought to use a standard template. If we want that template to be lighter and not include the logo, whatever, I'm cool with that. But I'm very much a fan of consistency, that you do something 3 or 4 times, you figure it out, you figure out what the parameters are. But once you do that, it's by the time you do it the 5th time, you should take the time to refactor and make sure that you've got a process for things that are of a similar functional scope. Okay, so, and just to make sure, I'm going to put a comma there. So it looks like everywhere that we have a from, the reason that we have a from is because we are treating, well, we're not running the templating system. That's what it appears to be. Okay. Well, I'm not going to tackle that right now. And it looks as though none of these are using the template system, so they're unaffected by any change to the template system. All right, so then again, let's look at what we got: test env and host. So test env we can get rid of. Where's that used anyway? Looks as though it's only used in one place, and it's actually used in a way that doesn't make a lot of sense to use it. Yeah, because really what this is for, hey Mike, is the admin URL. I should have looked at this before I did anything else with it. So again, that's just an env. So we can have, here's the base URL, and we can have in here app. Back office URL, admin URL. I kind of like the idea of back office URL. Although it's kind of a weird thing from the perspective that Well, we have emails that go out to admins. So I guess we should just have here probably up here at the top. I don't want to call it admin URL because admin is too overloaded. Admin could refer to too many different things. Back office is more specific. Could also call it the sudoer URL or something of that nature. But I think that's good. And then we can get rid of this test.env because that's not actually needed. And we would just replace test.env with app backoffice URL in the one place that it is needed. Test.env app backoffice URL. And then this also has a second component. Yeah, I don't like the way this is constructed. Okay. Okay, this should do right here. Wait, we got something wrong here. Oh. Huh. What is going on? Let me back this up. Where is the closing angle bracket? There isn't one. Okay, so this is broken essentially. Oh, you've got a question. Which app do you use to manage the different streaming platforms? It's called Restream.io. So that streams to Twitch and Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. And it also gives me this chat mabob down here. Okay, yeah, this looks broken. I'm pretty sure this is broken. Yeah. So it looks like this link wasn't working anyway. But I should be able to do this. And now the link should work. Oh no, what did that just do? Did I accidentally... util email templates. How much of a change did that make? That made a ton of changes. Dag nabbit. I didn't want to make a ton of changes. Okay, let's see if I can just make the one change and then get out of this file. Okay, get reset. Well, I guess get checkout source API util email templates. Yeah. But what's going on here? Oh, I know why. I think It wasn't registered to understand EJS's HTML. I bet is the issue. Let's see what happens if I just run this. Yeah, I couldn't find a parser for it. Makes sense. Okay. Yep, that's it. Restream.io. You are welcome. Are you considering doing some streams of your own, Mike? Oh, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Okay. Cool. Are you going to be streaming code stuff, or what are you going to be streaming? Oh, man. It's never easy. Okay, this is looking okay. All right, we're getting rid of logo source, test, env. What else are we getting rid of here? I think there was one other thing that we're getting rid of. That we're about to get rid of. It's going to be data.host. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. To get this file without all of the hoopla. You know what? No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to git stash all of this. I'm going to go check out master, I'm going to pull, and I'm going to find all of the EJS files. And I'm going to go into, just put this into ejs.sh. And then I'm just going to have this open each of the files. And I could find out how to there is a way to tell Vim to go in a particular mode where it batch edits the files, but I think for this, I know it is a bunch of files, but I think that me just doing let's see, right quit over and over again might be fast enough. Let's see if this works. If not, then I'll look up the batch way to do this. Ah, that's not what I wanted to do. Go back. It's one of those things I should have in my cheat sheet. Okay, first of all, did this make any difference? It did. It did, in fact. Made quite a bit of difference. Okay, so let me go through the first several of these. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, email code and then finalize report. What do I have? Email code and then finalize report v2. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do this last one here just to make sure that it didn't have anything in it. So this is all just white space changes. Nothing different at all from that. Yep. All right, cool. Sure. Update white space. And then I'm on master here. Yeah, we can just push that one. That's no big deal. And then I should be able to rebase on master for this. And then I should be able to do git stash pop. And I'm actually kind of surprised that it has a merge conflict there. That should have gone in pretty smoothly. Oh, Arduino. Arduino and entertainment. So how are you going to make it entertaining? I mean, I guess Arduino can be entertaining, but what's the spin? Okay, there we are. All right. All right, so I'm not breaking anything. I'm adding new variables. I'm not changing any existing variables except for the test env and logo src, which let me make sure that I actually am doing what I think I'm doing with that. All right, so there's one place where logo src needs to be changed with what? App logo. App.company logo. Okay. Where's that header at? Templates, partials, header. Logo, src, app.company logo. And do I need to put company logo URL or is it just company logo? I think it's just company logo. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is about as small as it can get here. And that's the email company logo. That makes perfect sense. So it's just those two files. So assuming that the Envs are put in place, nothing will break here. Update email envs, remove test env, and then what was the other one? Logo src. I think I'm going to put this in reverse order. Replace test env, Lego src, and add many email envs. There we go. That's appropriate. All right, what are we looking at here? And I actually want to just rename this. So utils send email. Are we using this one yet? I don't know if we want to use that one right now. Render, whatever. That can come last anyway. Mark Rober is a good example. I think I know. Wait, let me. Mark Rober. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, okay. He's the one that did the glitter bomb and the squirrel whatchamajig. Is he a Utah guy? He is. Yeah, he seems like a Utah guy. Okay, what time is it? 1:25. I need to get to bed soon. I wonder if I ever met him. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you as well, and your wives and your children. All right. Dang, this stinks. Okay. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is update the equals host thing. To use equals app.base URL. And I should be able to get rid of data.host here. Wait. A little confused. Oh, oops. Host star.txt. So don't need host there. Oh, this one, I could get rid of this one too, right? Yeah. Let's see. Fix up, remove, test env. Whoops. Doot, doot. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, git stash pop. Let's see what this is about. Data.host. Render partial. Where does host come from? Application URL. Maybe. Yeah, that's the right thing. Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, so we take these things that are environmental and we just put them into the render. Render partial. Let's make sure that this render partial does the variable expansion as expected. Ooh, tempting to put a use strict there, but I'm not going to do it right now. Render partial. Ah, okay, render HTML. I'm pretty sure render HTML, yes. It does do assignment of Title from subject. Subject. Oh yeah, so it skips over there and just uses it here. I don't think the title is needed as a return from this. To do, I don't think we need to return title here. Render template email. And that passes it to the send method. And then the send method, if I'm not mistaken, would not do anything with title, because it's going to call mailer.send, and mailer.send is going to not know what title is. So I'm going to say we probably most likely do not. Let's see, mailer. Uh-oh. I don't know if we want that yet. Let me check and see. Vim source lib mailer index. What's mailer doing here? Yeah, it's not going to do anything with title. So I'm free to remove title from there. Well, one thing I need to check is where else is rendered template email used. Pretty much nowhere. Really? It must be through send template email. Let's see, mail object is never returned here. So again, and then send, just double checking here. What does send return? Mailer.send, which is mail object. But that's not going to return the mail object. This is going to return the response. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so we are totally free to get rid of title there. That's totally okay. Alrighty. Looking good in the neighborhood. But I'm going to leave that for the moment, because again, make this change as small as possible. We're just getting rid of host. I think that's it. I think it's the only thing we're getting rid of here is just host. Don't want to break things. Okay, is that really it? Okay, remove email, rename email template host. Okay. All right, good luck with your doctor's visit. Huh. Oh, get diff. Get reset, get checkout. Okay. I don't know what I need to do to make this thing happy. If somebody else knows, let me know. Yeah, get stash apply. It's just going to give me the same daggone thing over and over again. Okay, get stash drop. Drop top hash. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Get stash drop. All right, good. Now this one gives me plenty of problems. But none of them actually make any difference, because they're all exactly the same. What was this actually trying to do here? It seems that if the line that it changed is exactly the same, it seems that it should be smart enough to know, hey, there was not a change here. Nothing I need to worry about. Get log. All right, let's see. Alrighty, so this one, I get what this is all about. Okay, get rebase. We're just going to drop. Well, we're going to pick that commit, but then we're going to drop it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to drop this. Wait, what was the message about? Util send email message. Interesting. That does seem wrong. It seems that it should be message like that. Maybe not. Maybe it should be this. In any case, I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of this. Oh, it looks fine. Looks just as well this way. Cool. Okay. Gosh, I feel like I got so little done. Probably because I did get so little done. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to think on this more. I need to go get to bed. But I think I'm just going to have to go through and figure it out. I wonder if there is, say, object comma. All right, let's see if there's object colon. I wonder if that's the only one that has the object stuff in it. Let's look for object in source API util email. Okay, it's got type of objects, objects, a bunch of type of object stuff. But it looks like this is the only one that has objects in that way. And I think from here, okay, our post webhook. I'm pretty sure this is, well, that's not used, so we can get rid of that. Wait, does this really expose a top level mail sending mobob? see. Require email. This does not have a top-level email sending mabob. So what is this doing? I bet I'm to blame for this. Let's go ahead and take a look. Git blame. Yep. That was me. So it seems. So what was this supposed to be? Do we have send mail anywhere else? Nope, only in that one spot. Let's see what send mail is trying to do. Well, it's only if the validation fails. It's part of a webhook. And it looks as though it's meant to be template, data, and to. So I'm going to guess util email, send email, send template email. I'm going to guess is what that type, data, and to. All right, that looks right. So I think that this is, I'm going to master here. Oops. Are we on master? We are on master. I see. Util/email. Do we call it email? Mailer? All right. Send template email, I think is what that actually is supposed to be. I'm guessing oh, that should have an await or something. Send template email. Source API util email. API util email. All right, good. I got the name right. I didn't break it. Didn't break it any worse than it was already broken. All right, bug fix. Let me make sure this is right one last time. Send template email. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, well, you know, that wasn't working anyway. Oh, wow, we got some other people joining in. Hello, welcome. I am just going through, it's a real slog today. I'm trying to get a bunch of things verified, trying to check some assumptions. and I have migrated all these email templates, but before I actually apply the newer templates, I wanted to go back and apply some updates to the existing templates so that I can have the new ones be the way that I want them to be and not have to implement the same problems with the old ones and then update the new ones, which I guess is just as valid of a path, but so anyway, I'm actually about to get off, but I'm looking for a couple of places where the variable names either don't make sense or they're used in a way that doesn't make sense. So this one, object. So a lot of these, they don't have any sort of scope to them to kind of help us understand what their purpose is or what type of email they belong to. Because each email template was created in isolation. So what I would like is to say, well, across all of our emails, here are common groupings of variables that are going to take place. So here's all the stuff that's related to the user. Here's all the stuff that's related to the user's account. Here's all the stuff that's related to a partner. Here's all the stuff that's related to whatever it is. Here's all the stuff that's related to authentication. Here's all the stuff that's related to the top level app. And that was one of the big things that I wanted to get pushed through here, which I need to go update a bunch of environment variables. I'm not going to do that tonight, and I'm not going to do that on camera, but I need to go update a bunch of environment variables, which are basically, where'd they go? What? I'm a little confused now. Oh, okay. Because I'm on master. Let me go back to email vars. And then we can look at this. Most of this stuff I don't think matters for updating the previous ones. I do still want to get the from addresses figured out, because the way the new email system is going to work, because we're updating the email templates, we're going from Mailgun to Postmark, and we're making a couple of changes to get higher delivery rates on our transactional emails. And one of those things is going to be setting the from address in the emails in a different way. Postmark has this concept of streams, and you either have transactional streams or bulk streams. And each stream essentially comes from a different domain, and this improves deliverability. Let's see, is there anything else I'm going to be doing here before I sign off for the night? I remember the reason that I wanted to do it this way. So I want to go through things with the old templates first, because either way I have to modify the code that calls the templates. And so my goal is to go find the places where the template is being called, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be 100% send template email. Yeah. And this really isn't so bad. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's only 12 places where I need to update this. So this is going to be my next episode is just going to be, I went and fixed some bugs. I followed some logic trails. I tried to make really small incremental changes in introducing the environment variables are going to be used wholesale. But what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to step through. I'm going to write this down. Yeah. I'm going to step through each of these files and just give scope to these. And some of these don't work anymore anyway. Just prepare them. Yeah. So for example, I'm probably going to get rid of company name and just put account and have account.name and get rid of first name and just have it be user.firstname and so on and so forth, so that the scoping of where these variables are coming from when they're used in the template is clear and that they have the same meaning throughout the templates. So if there's a first name that represents the user that is initiating the action or that's tied directly to the account of the action, that would be user.firstname. If it is a partner or someone that user is interacting with. So there's things that I do as the account owner of the system or of the as an account owner of when I'm logging in. There's actions that I want to get notified of or that I will be notified of that are based on my association with the account. So that's user.firstname. But there's also times when I might invite someone to participate in some action. And so that email will get sent out, but the first name is going to be someone else. And so I want to actually be able to distinguish between maybe user and other. I'm not really sure what the naming convention needs to be, but I am pretty sure that it needs to, we've got things here, link, URL. I don't know what those are related to. Task seems that it might be scoped appropriately. This one just has data. Where did data come from? What does data mean? Name, first name, code, yeah. So this right here, I want to get that updated. I want to get it scoped so it's clear what each applies to. Anyway, that's what I'll do next time. I think that I'll wrap this up for now. I'll go to bed and I will come back hopefully a little more enthusiastically tomorrow as well. Again, anytime that it's been a week or more since I've been in a particular project, I'm always a little bit lower energy about it because I'm having to dig back through and figure out where was I. So it's really not good for me to leave something unfinished, and I try not to. But there's occasions where, for example, I get a call from my wife that we need to go to the hospital because she's in labor, and things just get dropped for a week. And then there's been other occasions where I thought, yeah, I'm coming right back to this after dinner, but then a ton of stuff happens. Anyway, so I think the next time going through these, I'm going to feel a little bit better about it, a little more confident, especially since I've done some review. I actually did get some bugs fixed that did make it into master, and yeah, I got a better idea in my head of what the path forward is, at least. So anyway, thanks for those of you that tuned in. Thumbs up if you got them. Thumbs down if you don't, because every thumb helps. And, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. If you would like to subscribe, just make sure to hit the bell for personalized recommendations so that you get the good stuff. And feel free to leave comments and questions and suggestions. And I'll catch you next time. Adios.